Merry Christmas!
You are what I'm looking for. I know what I'm looking for.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're here with day 6 of our 12 days of Christmas. We'll be creating a lottery pocket using my 12 days of Christmas template book. So with the supplies we're going to need is some pattern paper, scoreboard, scoring tools, scissors, adhesive, and a small circle punch. I'm using this beautiful collection of vintage Christmas. If I can find it, I'll have it linked in the description box down below. This is from Authentique. So I'm going to grab this beautiful vintage holly paper with the candy stripe on the background, and we're going to trim off the branding strip to create a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I want to make sure that it's 12 by 12, and then we're going to start creating this lottery pocket. All right, so first step in my template book, it's telling me to do a bunch of scores on one side and then rotate the paper and then score on the other side. So I'll walk you through those measurements as we go along. If you have a paper with an orientation that matters, you want your pattern to be upright here. So we're going to start with our first score at 4 3/4 inches, and then the next score at 5 inches, and then we'll move over to 10 inches and 10 1/4 inches. We'll rotate the paper one turn to the left and score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 1 1/2 inches, and then move down to score at 10 1/2 inches, 11 inches, and 11 1/2 inches. Okay, so that's going to be it for this paper. The rest is going to be trimming a little bit away to create our gusseted envelope for lottery tickets. So it's hard to see in the video here with this pattern to see the score marks. So make sure that you're following along the template guide and cutting along those areas. So in the guide, there are some areas that are marked in red. So what I'm going to do is crease all of my folds to help make it a little bit easier to see. And you can do this at this point before making any cuts. It really doesn't matter if you do this first or last, but I'm going to do it so that you can actually see the score marks a little bit better as we go along. When we get to the sides that have the 3 1/2-inch score marks, we're going to accordion fold them. So you'll start by folding one piece in towards the center of the envelope, fold the other piece back on itself, and then the next piece back towards the inside of the envelope. So you get like this little mountain and valley effect. This is going to create our gussets for our pockets. So once that's done, I'm going to go to the guide and take a look at what needs to be cut away. So you'll see these long strips on either side and then a little sort of angled notch. And so I'm just going to take my scissors and cut as best as I can. If you prefer, you can use your trimmer here. If you have a paper trimmer that you can see through the guide on where to stop, you can cut and make sure that you get nice and straight. Just take your time, follow along those score marks if you're using scissors. Once I cut down the side and reach the very last score line at the bottom of the paper, then I'm going to stop, turn my scissors, and create an angle cut. So you'll see here where we're going to create the little gusseted flaps. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim off a little angle there. And then we have our first gusseted side flap. All right, flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. Following along the score mark, cutting all the way down from the first to the second to the third to the fourth score line. And then once we reach that last score line, I'll stop cutting, turn my paper, and do a little bit of an angle cut there, and then make another angle cut at the end of the paper. All right, so here we go. We've got our envelope with our gusseted pockets. It should look like the template guide, and with our little top flap here. And this is how it's all going to fold together. So when we make that a little accordion fold, this is where we want to apply our adhesive. We're going to add adhesive to those little 1/2-inch strips and then fold this pocket together and adhere it down. In the template guide, the area for the adhesive is marked with little stars. So I'm going to use liquid glue here. You can use tape runner, whatever you've got, double-sided tape. Liquid glue was a bit messy here. I just didn't have my tape runner refilled. I had to get up and do that, and I didn't want to stop recording, so I just used liquid glue, but it was a little messy. But if liquid glue is all you got, then this works too. So I'm going to fold that envelope together and just make sure it's all lined up nice and straight. And then I'll press in that adhesive with my bone folder, make sure that everything is nice and dry. And then there we have it. We have this little cute gusseted pocket. And the lid has an extra a 1/4 inch score there to accommodate, as well as the bottom of the envelope. There's a little 1/4 inch area to accommodate, plus the gusset to pop out a little bit more. So I went ahead and rounded the corners of this flap, and now to close this envelope, I have a really cool closure. You could just put adhesive and shut it and be done with it. But I decided to make something extra special. I grabbed my circle punch and I punched out 6 little circles out of that scrap piece of paper that we cut away. I'm going to use my liquid glue and stack 3 circles on top of each other. And I've got some tweezers here. And funny story about the tweezers, they just seemed to be more of a headache than they were a help. So I just picked everything up. The tweezers, I don't even know what I was thinking. I thought it would be easier, but it quite simply wasn't. I've adhered 3 circles together, and I'm making sure they're all lined up and nice and straight. And then I'm going to take a little strip of baker's twine. I got about maybe 6 inches of twine here. I cut what I thought I needed, and I'm going to grab a foam square. I'm going to take this baker's twine and adhere it to the back of one of my circles. And then I'm going to grab a foam square and pop it up over top of that baker's twine. So I have these little 1/4 inch foam squares, and I'm just going to press it in, and I'm going to use my tweezers. They were very helpful here to just sort of press everything in while that liquid glue dries to make sure it holds together. And then I'm going to grab another foam square and pop one on to the other circle. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to apply a little bit of adhesive to my envelope and pop on the circle that does not have the baker's twine. Just the regular circle here. I've got it lined up in the middle of my envelope. I'm going to press that in. And then I'm going to take the little circle that has the baker's twine. Everything is all dry now, and I'm going to adhere this to the flap of my envelope. And I'll press that in, give that liquid glue a chance to dry before I wind up my closure. So I've just got an acrylic block sitting on top of my envelope here while that glue has a chance to set. There's a little bit of weight on it. And then I'm going to take my little pocket. I'm going to fill it with some Christmas goodies. I've got a bunch of gift cards and some scratch tickets. This is just a quick and simple and easy way to wrap a bunch of gifts. And it's cute too. So I've got my pocket filled. I'm going to take this baker's twine and wrap it in like a figure 8. So I'm just going to gently go around and wrap it around the little circles, and voila, our envelope is nice and closed. And it's super cute. Super easy, simple to create, and all you needed was one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. There we have it. Here's a look at day 6 of our 12 Days of Christmas project. I apologize that this has taken so long to come out. My family has been extremely sick with bouts of COVID and then the flu, and we're just down and out for the count. We're hoping that we're going to be ready for Christmas, and I hope that you are all ready for Christmas. Okay, that's going to be it for today's video. I will leave a link in the description box down below where you can purchase the 12 Days of Christmas template book. And this template book coordinates with 12 YouTube videos that share projects for the 12 Days of Christmas. Coming up on screen is a playlist for the 12 Days of Christmas. All of the videos that have been released so far will be in this playlist. Thanks again for joining me. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!